thank you for coming to Recipe for Success at Evergreen today. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to make something yummy but hearty, especially during this time of rain and the cold. And instead of making a soup, I thought this would be really, really good. I am making a Brazilian black bean and sausage recipe. Now, the ingredients that I have, and I'll put this bag away. Some of the things that I have in it, I have a bell pepper, I have an onion, I have olive oil, salt, cumin, pepper, garlic, and rice, and my sausage. Now, the thing I like about sausages, you can use the Polish sausage, the one that makes a U. And what I try to look for in my sausage to get a healthier sausage is something without nitrates, something without sugar. I try to stay away from those things just to make sure it has great ingredients in it, because you want to eat something that's healthy. And this is good for protein. And then, of course, we have our brown rice instead of our white rice, which is better for you. It's more filling. And I already got the rice cooked, but you can use your regular rice that you have, but the recipe calls for you to put 2 cups of water in it when you're cooking your rice. But I went ahead and got a pre-cooked rice. And you can also do quinoa. Quinoa is an awesome grain that's better even than rice sometimes to me, because it has more protein in it, okay? And I know we need to focus on our proteins. And remember, we have our black beans here. And so what I'm gonna get started with, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my onion. And I love onions. I don't know which one. Now, you don't have to use a yellow sweet onion. You can use the red onions. I like the red onions. They have a lot of flavor in them. But you don't have to use a yellow onion, but that's what we have. And in just a second, let me get my knife, and you can focus on the things on the table. We can't cut anything without a knife. So what I usually do, I usually go ahead and cut that onion kind of in half. The recipe does call for a large onion. Now, if you're not an onion person, of course you don't have to put it in there, but I like onion. Onions just give it a better flavor, especially if you get like a strong onion. Like I said, I like the red onion, or I'll eat, a sweet onion, or just a basic white onion. Or you can use the other onions, the fresh onions, the little green onions. You can do those also. But I love an onion. And what I'm gonna do, if I can get all the skin off of here, get all the skin off, move it off my cutting board, slide it all to the side, and I'm going to start chopping it up. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my olive oil in it. It does call for vegetable oil, but I like olive oil. Olive oil is a better fat for you, so I would use olive oil. Now, you can just gauge this. I'm going to turn this on my medium high, and I'm just going to coat a little bit of my olive oil so that I can cut my onion in it and saute it. Go ahead and get my onion ready. Wow, the oil gets, let's see, I cut mine thin. And I'm gonna cut them again because I like it chunky. You don't have to dice them because you want it kind of chunky because you want it to taste it. I'll just cut it like that. Just cut it in half. That way I can taste my onion. Now, I'll go ahead and add my onion in here. Go ahead and toss my onion in here. Now, with this onion, I'm gonna go ahead and add some pepper. Now, like I said, I got this from the spice store, this pepper, because it's really bold. It's not just a regular pepper without taste. It has a bold taste to it. So I'll sprinkle a little bit to your taste. And you put everything to your taste. Then I have some mineral salt, or you can use Himalayan salt. I use a certain salt. I don't really use the regular salt. I use like something that has, if I'm gonna put foods, if I'm gonna eat foods, I need to have foods in my body that are gonna do something. I want purpose. I purpose eating. And I think that's what this is called, purpose eating. So I have mineral salt. It's a very good salt. It's very salty. And it was coarse, so put some of that in there. Oh, it smells. I don't know if you can smell this already, but onions already smell good.
Yes.
Can you smell that?
I can smell it.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to turn this down some so I can go ahead and chop up my... Ooh, that smells so good. Now, I didn't drain my beans, and there's a reason why I didn't do that, because it did call for some water, but I didn't drain my beans because I wanted a little bit, and I got the low sodium, so I'm not gonna really drain them. I'm gonna use some of that sauce to help me to coat for the rice. And I'm only gonna use probably about 3 of these. We don't need that many. And I'm just gonna chop them up. I'm gonna saute these. Put these few in there. Go ahead and put these in there. Let them start cooking. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna cut my pepper up in a second. I just like my meat cooked well done. I don't know if everybody else is like that, but I like well done meat. So I wanna go ahead and put this in here. I'm gonna turn it down some so I can cook low. Okay. We don't need much sausage. I think that's all I'll put in there. Don't need a whole lot. Because it's going to be very fulfilling. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm putting a lot of stuff in here. Oh, that looks so good. So I'm going to put the rest of this in here. Then I'm going to cut up my bell pepper. Start letting that cook. Cut the sides off. Can you smell that?
Yes, it smells delicious. And it looks pretty.
Yes. Cut my bell peppers up. And you can dice these bell peppers. I like chunkiness. So when I'm eating, I'll eat vegetables. So it's like eating vegetables. So I like mine chunky. But you can dice these. It does not have to be, you can do it to your size, but you can cut them to your size. Put those in there. Now the bell peppers are sweet. Now that's one thing I like about bell peppers. They're sweet. When you saute them, it has a sweet taste. So it adds a nice flavor to that. Cut it one more time. Cut it right here. I'm going to chop these a little bit smaller. Put those in there. So you're getting a lot in this meal. You're getting some vegetables. You're getting your carbs through the rice. You're getting your protein. Through the sausage. Throw that up.
And Miss Deborah, what did you say about the type of sausage to get?
I try to get sausage that does not have, and this is me, without nitrates, that doesn't have nitrates in it, that doesn't have I try to stay away from the nitrates and the sugar. So, you know, you can find that where you can find it without sugar. That'd be great. I try to stay away from that. Put that in there. Like I said, I'm gonna use some of the bean juice because I got the low sodium black beans. And these are like only 99 cents. And most people already have black beans in their cupboard. So we're gonna take some. We're gonna take a little mince, a teaspoon of garlic. We're gonna do a teaspoon of cumin, because like this is our Brazilian, so kind of eye it a little bit. Take my beans. I smell it. It smells like what you call it? It smells like the restaurant.
It does.
It smells like the restaurant. Turn up just a little bit more. It smells like the restaurant. Got my cumins in there, got my salt in there. Now you can put as much, you know, a little bit more salt probably than I did. I kind of like to, when I'm cooking, I try to put just enough salt because I don't want to oversalt it, I don't want to undersalt it. By the time it hits your plate, you can kind of taste and see if you need to put a little bit more. But I don't like to oversalt my stuff. I'd rather be able to add later than to have salty food, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to open up my rice. I'm going to go ahead and let my rice start cooking with that because like I said, now you can take this rice and you can heat it up before you put it in here. You can microwave it, but I just rather cook it with it. It'll break apart as you eat it. I mean, as it cooks. Let me get that. I didn't want to put any water in there. And like I said, I bought the rice that's already pre-cooked. So, I'll let that simmer. Now you can, like I said, you can do quinoa. I have done quinoa before. You can do quinoa. That's good. Break that rice on up.
And you can use green pepper instead of red pepper?
You can use green peppers. You do not have to use red peppers. You don't have to use peppers at all, but it just gives it that Brazilian, that Western type of taste. You know, that's basically what you're going for. That's why I put cumin in it, to have that Southwestern type of feel. That's basically what you're trying to make. I'm gonna put that rice cooking up in it real nice.
Well, Miss Deborah, I know what my dinner will be tonight.
Yes, this is easy. I know. The kids were asking about lunch, and I said, "Oh, they can have what I'm cooking for you guys today. A hearty, and this, you know what? This could be dinner, and it can be lunch. It's so hearty. This will feed about 4 people." And I didn't put all the ingredients. I didn't put all of the sausage in there. But I mean, the sausage is so big that I didn't want to put it all in there. And so this will feed about 4 people. And you want to get your vegetables tender. So what I would do, I would like let this stay on here for like 5 more minutes, just to get everything soft, and then you're ready to go.
So how long is your total cook time?
My total cook time for this, if you do the rice, now the total cook time would be, the prep is like 10 minutes. But if you're gonna do the rice, you know, from scratch, where you take your rice and you go ahead and cook your rice first, of course it takes a little bit longer. but I had already had a, you can also do the bag rice, the rices that you can put in the water, and it doesn't take long, it takes like 5 minutes to cook, so that would take off some of your cooking time. But it usually takes like 30 minutes to make this meal. So I wanted to cut some of my time by buying the rice that was pre-cooked, because I know we don't have 30 minutes on here. Y'all don't want to look at me for 30 minutes cooking some food that you can cook. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the temperature on this. So you would want to put your onions and your peppers together, which I didn't do because I like mine crunchy. You want to put your onions and peppers together to soften them. If you don't want them crunchy, you want it softening, you go ahead and do that. Then you can go ahead and put your peppers on there in the oil with the peppers and the onions and let them kind of cook, kind of get tender. Then if you you can put your beans in, because your beans are already pre-cooked, and you can add those in and stir those on. So that'll be like another 5 minutes, so that you're cooking that after you get your peppers and onions softened. And then you can you don't have to put the rice within the dish, but that's what the recipe calls for. You can have a plate of rice and just take what you've sauteed and put it on top of the rice. But yeah, that's what it calls for. And I'm gonna let you try it. Oh, that looks delicious, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm gonna plate it. I'm gonna get some of that. Get some of the rice and some of the onions and some of the peppers. Some sausage. And you let me know how it tastes. You eat beef?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's how it looks. You can let people see it. Okay? So I hope you try this. It's a simple dish. Like I said, if you want your peppers a little bit softer, you can just put a little bit more, let it cook a little bit longer. But that's cooked well for me. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you. Have a great afternoon. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.